I wrote one line for this song and I'll repeat it all song long. Falling down. That's what that song just said, but it was a whole song. Now playing Diamond Conundrum by Abstraction. I wonder if they love Stranger Things, 'cause it sounds like they do. Hello, Pat. Looks like it's 8:30. It looks like it's 8:30. Space Goonie and Pat, imagine that. My Instagram said that my time is up and it's time for a show. But I can't see the screen from here. Will it work? Hey, so anyway, all I'm saying is that if you really look at it, if we take the time and analyze these things, the Transformers are these things that were robot men, right? And then they came down from space and they were like, what are you guys up to? You driving around in these car things? All right, we'll match that. I'll turn into one of those car things. You can drive around inside me. And when I don't need to be in a car mode, I'll turn into a robot man mode and I will fight things. All right? So we're on the same page still. I mean, technically we're on the same page. So if we keep on going from there, eventually those robot men are going to be like, oh, these people, am I right? All we do is fight their wars while we're trying to fight their war. And you know what's cool? Just cruising around. Just kind of cruising around, being free and easy. Yeah. So far, again, still on board. I do need to make sure that the camera is synced, though. Yeah, anyway, so eventually I would say that those robots would be like, you know, it would be way easier, and since we can kind of manipulate what we transform into, clearly as disposed in the movies, that we will just, from now on, put our faces on the cars. Let's just be face cars and not even bother with the transformation. And as far as these people, I don't care for them anymore. Let's all just, crush them in transformation mode or drive over them, do whatever. I mean, most of our arms are guns. I mean, half of us have guns that are arms. That one guy could turn his hand into a sword. So there's all those things. So with all of that, I can totally see where you're going. I don't want to agree. Doesn't matter. You have to agree. The fact remains that if time passes long enough, the Transformers eventually become the cars from Cars, and it kind of explains where all the people went. The Transformers killed all the people, Megatron won, and or Optimus Prime decided, you know what? I'm on your side. This is stupid. How can we be lovers if we can't be friends? Let's stop fighting and make some amends, and then just be Cars, dog. Let's just be Cars, dog. And then Disney was like, yeah, we'll pick up that torch. And we'll show you that world and how it's mostly about racing and who's digging up the oil. Yeah, who's digging up the oil? Somebody's not having a good time in that world. I mean, you make a good point. But what about in a world where all of the things are...
Tell your friends, and tell your hot mom. There's no such thing as grownups.com.
No such thing at all. Let me just do a little buffer. Just do a little quick buffer. Make sure no one has to suffer. That's how you remember how to buffer. Anyway, hello, welcome to No Such Thing as Grownups, or that way if you prefer to read properly. My name is Curtis, and as always, I'm Milo. I was going to say that, but then you started saying it with your face for some reason, and everyone was wildly disappointed. Yeah, I know. So, I had to... finally broke down and got myself a good copy of Final Cut Pro so I can do some video editing stuff without the hassle of trying to do programs that I don't really gel very well with. But in order to use the new Final Cut Pro, it was like, hey, your computer's not new enough. And I'm like, it's brand new. It's like so new? Yeah, but your operating system could be 0.1 operating systems newer, like 0.1. 0.1? Usually it drifts between a whole, like, from 10 point whatever to the next number. But no, they're like, not good enough. All right, fine. Fine. And I don't know. I love Final Cut. I find it really nice and easy to work with. And yes, I should learn some After Effects. There's a bunch of other programs I should know, but I don't really do enough video stuff. And Final Cut is just kind of like, ooh, it's nice and high quality, professional, and it's relatively cheap now. But yeah, it was like, no, man. I was like, but I have some video stuff to do. That's why I got this. I wanted to finish this up like this morning. No, you're going to have to update your computer. That's going to take 15 minutes. By 15 minutes, do you mean an hour and a half? I sure do. Bleep bloop. Awesome. And with upgrades always comes so many downgrades. So many downgrades. So my shortcut keys, so the problem we were having before where for some reason just restarting the computer and the broadcasting thing would be like, oh cool, so you want me to use this function that's in here, where it's like just use the shortcut keys no matter where you are, and I'm like, yes please. And I just spent like 20 minutes clicking it on and off, like, do you want to just start working? How about now? Restarted the computer 1,000 times, and it's just like, no. Like the amount of things I've spent my time trying to find the patches and the workarounds to make work between the end of work today and now. Because, you know, the new operating system is awesome. It's super awesome. Like when it loads up, like, wow, there's a new background thing. Hey, there's a bunch of other stuff. It supposedly runs a little faster and better, I guess. I don't know. But it's only great if you don't use stuff. Like, there's a lot of people out there, and I keep forgetting they exist. Maybe some of you are watching right now. Hi, computer people who don't actually use programs on your computer. You have the internet, and that's it. You do everything. Like, you can watch your Twitch, you can watch your YouTube, you can hang out on Facebook. There's 1,000 things you can do that don't actually require real compatibility with your computer. But when you use a bunch of different, especially video, audio, and just design programs, I'm just realizing now as well that down in the corner, where's the drawing screen? Where's the drawing screen? Why? Just before I click away. Oh no! Why are my buttons not working now? What did I click on? What did I click on to make those not work? Let's click over here. Anyway, where's my drawing screen? Where's my drawing screen? Where are they? Where is she? Where's drawing screen? Rachel Dawes. That is not the drawing screen's name. Batman, you are always out of control. Wait, were you on? Is it on? No, it's not on the other ones either. Hey, I'm talking now. Look at my mouth move. Sorry. Easily fixed. We'll just go down here, go to Window Capture, double click, and then we'll reselect Comic Pages, and bada boom, bada bing, we got a couple of panels of Milo. Why? Because we're going to modify this page and add some more, because today's comic is going to not really finish off, but kind of finish off a little bit of a story arc that happened earlier in the book that nobody got to see. You got to see a few pages of it here and there on Instagram, but for the most part, technology. For the most part, like I said, like the book is like 75 pages now. I'm gonna try and stop around 80, but to end off this little story, I have 2 more pages. They're just mostly kind of an understanding comics kind of thing. There's no words. It's just a visual thing that goes with what happened before this. Dare I tell you what happened before this page? Maybe I will. But yeah, I drew a few other pages on the weekend, or last night. I did 2 pages whilst still thinking like, oh, I gotta do something. I gotta be productive. I haven't done anything in days. I did 1,000 things in the last few days, but for some reason, I know the exact reason actually. It's because I'm so close to the end of this thing, and I'm like, in my head, I'm already working on the post production steps of finishing this thing off, and the few other kind of extra page bits that go outside of the book. But whatever. So because I'm there, and I'm like, I should have been done by now. It's like you still did like 4 pages in like 4 days, and the world's kind of shut down, so that's okay. And you spent a good chunk of your Friday night washing clothes in a bin in the bathtub. Did you rinse them good enough? Tried my best. Tried my best. Hey, Milo. Hey. What did I click on? Oh, because I did the window thing. All right, there we go. So I click here. And in theory, I made my COVID mask like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, did some laundry. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was trying to get you. Did you, baby, try your best to rinse those clothes? Because somewhere in your head you were like, if I don't rinse these good enough, it's going to get real itchy. And I'm probably just going to get like a rashy irritation area. The rise of psoriasis, if you will. Psoriasis. So I want to make sure, rinse those real good. Just super real good. Anyway, yeah. Ankles are super itchy. But whatever. I did a bunch of stuff like that. Did some cleaning around the apartment. Plus, my real plan for Friday, I forgot. We've got some exciting news this week. I mean, it's only really exciting for me. It doesn't actually affect you guys. If anything, it's a doorway to some new stories, and it closes a door on some old stories that I don't want to tell anymore, and I'm so happy to not tell them anymore. Let's talk about the comic first and what I'm about to do before I switch to the big screen, or to the other screen. Boop. Every time. So do this and do that. There we go. So at a certain point in the book, Milo's like, hey, something, something, something. And I'm like, no, you have to do, you have to be in the book more. And Milo's like, no thanks. I'm just going to eat a donut. So for panels upon panels, if you will, for at least 2 pages, he's just like, I'm just eating donuts. And then he gets up, where he is now. So before this, I'm in the background like, hey, like you're blocking the panel. Like I could do some Ripley pages now. The in the tub is mostly just for overflow and backsplash, but my system is fill up the bin that is in the tub with some washing detergent and some water, scrub it all around, and again, keep it from splashing around. But then, from there, I go directly under the tap for my rinsing and wringing, and then right above the shower, above the tub, if you will, there's the curtain rod. So, there's the normal curtain rod, but the apartment had an extra curtain rod that I was like, I'll dig this out for just such an emergency. And I put that in the middle and hang the clothes there, so that way it all drips into the tub still instead of onto the floor like it did one other time. I tried that a long time ago. But yeah, so Milo gets all up in the page. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deconstruct. So there's a bunch of meta pages in the book, of course, where it is like clearly I'm making the comic within the comic. And also, stuff about making the comic outside of the comic that you see in the comic. It's a real brain teaser, enigma. It's a real mess. That's the correct word. So anyway, what's going to happen now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to change up Milo's expressions because those are the ones from the last page. And while his expressions are changing, my hands are going to come in from the top of each of the panel until we get to the last panel where it's all rolled up in a nice little tube, and I throw it in the garbage. Ta-da! And then in the next page, I put the squares back up. I haven't decided if I'm like taping them up with tape or just like a paintbrush or just a big old pencil. I haven't decided, but I've kind of got it mapped out in a very rough sketch on a post-it note way over there on the other side of the room. So it's all going to have to be up here. So I'm going to start messing with Milo's face before I start breaking everything up. That's one of the pages I'm working on where we're killing off Milo. What? Have to see what happens. I've killed him off 1,000 times before. Don't worry. Oh, snaps. Wait, what? What did you say? Did you say something about killing me off again? Oh, it's like every year, twice a year. It's time to kill Milo off again. It's time to kill Milo off again. His eyes are too big. His eyes are too small. I don't like those big black outlines. I don't like not having big black outlines. Always a new reason. And now I'm over here in my mask, hanging on for dear life, honestly. And then you're just like, so anyway, over these funny pages, how about we add a little bit of death to an adorable little cat? Yeah, that's what I do. It's fun for me. And technically, this exchange is supposed to be in the book as well. Oh, snaps. Creativity. Why are you being weird, computer? There we go. Am I going crazy? I swear my brush tool feels differently than it has all day long. Okay, it's definitely way thinner. Let's try 10. So anyway, what craziness is in the news today? What craziness could possibly be in the news today? Probably nothing, right? Everything's kind of evening out. Nothing too insane to worry about. Or when I say evening out, there's enough stuff already. Oh my god. Just saying that just made me realize there's 12 other things that I forgot to talk about last week / and now. Because one that I just remembered, not the thing I wanted to talk about, is, hey everybody. Remember how the government was always like, no, there's no alien footage. We don't have anything like that. There's no proof of anything. And if we did, we would never, ever release it. And that guy from Blink 182 or whoever he was, I can't remember, was like, I'm going to prove it one of these days. I have footage. I've seen the footage. They have it. And then it was his footage of UFOs released officially, if you will. And of course, all of the paperwork, all of the whatever says, like, yeah, it's a UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. The end. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I meant to go watch it before the stream last week, and I did, and completely forgot about it. Why? Because it was wildly forgettable. So I mean, I don't know. Like, when I saw it, I wasn't like, oh my god, it is totally aliens, because I've literally worked on documentaries where I've animated the stuff that's in those videos. Um, Why is this so cut off? And after a while, after being old, watching enough X-Files, and you start to just think like, who cares? Who cares? They're either going to show up and be like, hey, it's aliens, it's us, and you've noticed us. Like, all right, cool. And plus, there have been a bunch of things where it was, I forget that one thing where it was like, check it out, we're all here. There's 1,000 different camera views of this thing and a big just ball of light floating here. And it's like, yep, there we go. Like, that's the evidence. Like, that's all we really needed. So other than, like the thing that they did release, and like, if they're going to release anything, it's not going to be the awesome stuff, which, again, based on the documentaries that I've worked on, somebody has something awesome. Whether it's from space or not, I don't know. But somebody's building some awesome stuff, and it's probably from space. But yeah, when that video was just like, oh, this is the same whatever, like, here we are in a multi-bajillion-dollar aircraft that can sonar everything and do whatever, and then it's just like, there you go, there's a gray dot over there. It's hovering and take, like, okay. We already knew that part. You didn't need to release that and then still coming out being like, no, it's not. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm done with you, deGrasse Tyson. I'm done with you. And, I mean, yeah, again, in a world where it's just like every 14-year-old has a ultra 4K high definition TV show broadcasting from their bedroom, but the most technically high powered, richest entities of the world are like, anyway, I got this old high 8 video. Like, how did you even get your hands on film to film that with? Like, this video isn't that old. You were in basically a spaceship yourself. What? No wonder there's so many accidents with military stuff. Like, no wonder, cause they're working with old black and white grainy footage of things. So that thing happened. I was like, all right, fine, cool. This is definitely the best time to release that. Definitely, because clearly the Watchmen thing worked, right? Which it doesn't. We've proved the comedian of the Watchmen right. It doesn't matter. You can have a world-altering, cataclysmic thing that it's like, this should bind everybody together, put everybody at zero level. We're all equal right now because we're all in the exact same boat. And the Watchmen, it was a giant tentacle space monster that Ozymandias was bringing through a portal. And here, it's a virus that's still a tiny tentacle monster. And people are still just like, oh, cool, yeah, no, I'm still going to go fight. First, I'm going to say some mean things on the internet that don't make any sense. And then I'm going to go yell at people who are trying their best to help out people that, I want to go do my thing, but really I don't. I just actually want to go yell at people. And so it's like, all right, cool, crazy. It doesn't matter. No matter what level of anything, until it happens directly to certain people, most people, they are still just like, nope. Nothing I can do. No way for me to believe in it or care about it. Like, all right, cool. Cool beans. McGee. See if I can do this with a little box. And I don't know why I'm bothering with any of this stuff. And then, of course, the deadly murder hornets. Hey! Hey! Do you already worry about insects? Mm-hmm. I do. Usually under the impression that like 90% of the bugs around here aren't that deadly, but they might still carry something, but whatever. Usually not that worried about bugs. Just no big deal. Then yeah. Hey, how's your week going? I don't know. It's hard to process all the stuff that's going on, right? Anyway, shut up. Murder hornets. What? What? Please, no. Please, sir. I don't want any more. Uh-oh. Is negative blood immune to the bees? So anyway, all that stuff, that's like the world. Or murder hornet, that's what it was. Hornets. How do I do this? Alright, I'm just going to make a new layer. We'll start dismantling after the fact. So, do it in red. And yeah, so even more so, it's just like, cool. Yeah, I'm already... you've already got me locked down and not wanting to go outside as it is. And I could really like to just go outside. And I don't even care that much about going outside. But whatever, you know. We're doing what we do. Alright, I'm going to have to incorporate the boxes. Copy the box. Oh. And paste it down there. Oh, wait, no. I want to cut the box and paste it down there. Now we've got boxes everywhere. And I'll box this one in. All right. Now we'll go up here. But in today's actual news, actually, before I get to that, let's go with this other piece of oldish news. And it helps segue into today's news a little better. I'm the news now. So last week, I don't even know anymore, but at some point in time, not too long ago, there was another shooting scare. I got messages from little Sam saying, "Hey, it's time for you to move back here now." Like, no, I'm just as afraid of there as I am of here. But yeah, what's that thing called? Another state of emergency inside of the state of emergency popped up, and this is like, just a week, like just barely a week after a mass shooting here locally in this community, and what was this? Oh yeah, it was three things. So it's like a week later, and it is just like, all right, everyone's got to calm down. So there's already like news bubbling of like, hey, people are, just basically looking to overreact to stuff, and it's like, yeah, and understandably, because a bunch of stuff just went down. So that next week, mostly like in and around like the Halifax area, there was I can't even think of but whatever the when you get a warning on your phone that says like, hey, stay inside, something's going on, and listed what was going on. And at the time, it seemed to be three different possible gun-based altercations of some kind, and if not shootings. So awesome, super scary, and within an hour or two, like, if it wasn't too long, but it wasn't too short either, found out like one of them was a misunderstanding, and like the sound was like construction nearby. Police checked everywhere. It was like, yep, it was definitely just this. Other one, same deal. Some other just misunderstanding with local actual building type sounds or something like that. But again, people are on edge on account of all the stuff that just happened. The third one, however, just made me mad. So the third one was two dudes. And of course it was. Whether it was going to be something or not, it's always going to be two dudes. So these two dudes, let's super assume that there were probably these two white dudes. They decided, hey, you know what we love? We love our airsoft rifle type guns. Who doesn't enjoy their airsoft rifle type guns? They're great fun for everyone. Yeah, you could take them and you could shoot those weird soft bullets, I guess, or something. I really have no idea what people get out of airsoft bullets. I have no idea what we're even talking about anymore. Yeah, exactly. So these two guys were like, we're going to go, we're going to hang out and play with our airsoft guns, I guess. I don't know what that. But in order to do that, we're going to have to go to Canadian Tire, and we're going to have to get some, CO2 cartridges and maybe more airsofties to shoot. I don't know what they shoot. So, of course, hey, we want to go get stuff for our gun type thing. During a pandemic, during a time when everyone's already on edge, right? Yeah. Okay. And there was just like a shooting, whatever it was, 6 days ago. I hear you. So should we bring our guns with us to Canadian Tire and just kind of take them out in the parking lot and look at each other's guns and talk to each other about our guns like we're complete maniacs before we go in and cause some sort of a panic to where people have to hunt us down and find out what's going on, guys? What's going on? Did you just come here to arm up and whatever? And it's just like, no, misunderstanding. We're just idiots. Sorry, we didn't notice anything for the past two, nothing at all. We've just been airsofting to the point we had so much CO2. We had this tank upon tank of CO2, and we were just airsofting all day long, airsofting. And eventually, you get tired of shooting airsoft bullets at each other's wieners, which I genuinely assume that's what people do. and yeah, so you know, we didn't notice, so we brought our guns to a store. You know how people do that, and it never ends up in a situation on the news? Absolutely never ends up being a situation on the news. Yes. Oh my God, you repeat stuff so much. I sure do. He sure does. We have fun. So, do they think it's America bringing their guns to the tire? Do they think it's America loading airsofts? What rhymes with Canadian Tire? And watching The Wire. Sitting down, watching season 3 of The Wire, 'cause season 1 is dumb and season 2 is too. Everyone says start with 3, but you can't, 'cause there's a whole lot of homework to do. If you want to go to Canadian Tire to get some CO2 after watching your favorite season of The Wire. Just airsofting through the day. Anyway, oh, aluminum bat. I've got a wooden field hockey stick for my metal bat needs. Was gonna get a bat, but thought this would be more different and fun. Different and fun. Different and fun. Oh, it's different and fun. There. What's happening up there? Someone's rolling up the thing. I got my trusty crowbar and aluminum bat. Excuse me, son, what the F you been at? Is that my bike and is that my chain? You've got 3 seconds to explain. Ed 209 rules apply right here. 10 seconds gonna effing disappear. Then I'll unload and remove your arms. But you won't be a RoboCop. I'm just inflicting harm. What was I doing? Oh yes, segueing. It's not gonna work. And drawing screen. Bam! So. Today, oh wow. Always interrupted myself. So after all of that, all of that Michigan shenanigans, open up the internet news, and it's like, hey, do you live in Truro? I sure do. What's going on in Truro today? Well, in this place called Salmon River, which is technically just down the road, they went to like check on some kind of like disturbance, altercation, if you will. And when they got there, we're like, hey, you've got stuff you shouldn't have, dog. And dog is like, yeah, I'm a 50-year-old man. Let's assume super white. Or I'm a 55-year-old man. gonna assume super white. And yeah, I think that I need a grenade, some weapons grade detonators, or one at least, bunch of gunpowder, and lots of ammunition. Gotta have lots of ammunition and 7 guns. No, sorry, did you say 7 guns? No, 17 guns. 17 guns. I need my 17 guns. Everything's cool here in Salmon River. Hey, actually, hey, wait a second. Did we used to live in Salmon River? Is that where we used to live? I feel like that was the place down the street where we used to live in Salmon River. Describe more things that are more terrifying and threatening. I will. They describe it as a four unit building, which is where I used to live, and I would surmise that the grenade maniac either lives or lived right now lives in either my old apartment, like the actual apartment I used to live in, or within the 4 apartment complex. And although there's, some different people there, I'm still pretty sure the people that were above me are still there, and they were 1,000,000 years old, and they couldn't move at all. And yeah, there's no names, nothing. Like, I just went looking everywhere to see, like, there's always a picture of the place, and I just expected, like, they're definitely gonna have a picture of my building, for sure. And if I had to guess, like, in the area where I was, when you go for a little walk or even a little drive, I'm just like, if anybody's going to have all that stuff and be that crazy, it's either somebody in my building or the building across the street and over a little. More likely the building down the street and over a little is my real guess. But the dude that lived up and in the back corner of my building, super nice guy. Super nice guy, but was always bringing stuff in and out, like a camping type of guy. Like, hey, here's my boat, here's my whatever, here's this. Like, you got a lot of gear. You got a lot of non-musical gear for a guy who's a musician, I believe. Pretty sure you're a musician. People are telling me you play a lot of music. You seem like kind of an outdoorsy-ish guy, or maybe someone preparing for some kind of apocalypse. I don't know. Blam sandwich, where do you get grenades? That's the thing. It's the thing about stuff like grenades and ammunitions. I definitely believe that. There's no doubt in my mind that I've met at least 6 people who definitely killed somebody, or were at least like, no, I'm a serial killer. I just haven't started yet. Like, I've definitely met those people. I do a podcast with one of those people. I'm a monster. I'm not going to even assume. Oh God. I've never heard of the pig farmer, but in all honesty, nothing against any of my fine farmer friends that are here in Truro, but thanks to Silent Land movies. I think it was the one that was just called Hannibal. But yeah, to me, if you say, "Oh no, I'm a pig farmer," like, all right, cool. Never going to your pig farm. I don't want to be one of the disposed bodies. I don't want to accidentally learn about how you help somebody dispose of bodies or how you dispose of bodies. But, pig farming scares me. Hey, wasn't your uncle like a pig farmer? And like your grandpa and a bunch of people in your family, like, didn't they all have pigs at some point in time? Remember when your uncle was raising that pig and then it escaped? And then they had that whole thing where they were like, oh, let me tell you a thing about pigs. Pigs don't have necks. You cannot, for the life of yourself, lasso a pig. And that's what he learned from that adventure of chasing a giant pig around his own yard for hours and hours and hours. Anyway, did that guy kill people? Yes. Yes, he did. No. No. That, that pig was a pure meat pig. It didn't last long enough to be used to dispose of enemies and whatnot. What are we even talking about today? What are we doing? What are we doing in this world right now? I feel like a blame sandwich. Just a whole pile of volatile things ready to explode, jammed between some delicious bread. Oh, man. Should have rubbed some more of this out. Let's real quick. Yeah, it's kind of super backwards world right now. So what do you do when the world gets all flip-turned upside down and you'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and enjoy something like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? So you go to the TV. You go to the television. Hey, TV, what you got? You got stuff going on here? It's not going to be traumatizing or terrible? I don't have any amazing TV picks this week. Not like, oh my god, I found a show you guys aren't going to believe. It's, there's only a few seasons of it, but I was just getting caught up on the newest season of this thing called Robert's Hamburgers. So good. Oh man, just sat there watching Robert's Hamburgers all weekend long. What did I watch? I watched Robert's Hamburgers, went back and redid some Reno 911, which is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to go back and just be like, oh, there are parts of the world where that's still present day. This seems like it should be like 90 years old, but it's not that old. And it's amazing. So amazing. And it's just Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers, still great. I haven't watched it in a long time, so there's probably another season or two I could get caught up on. But yeah, mostly spending the weekend just being like, I want to make stuff. I have some ideas for comics. I have a little doll head of myself to paint and make look more like me. I've got some little tiny pairs of glasses that I've put on a Ninja Turtle that will go on the me head later on. And and as I was watching Bob's Burgers, I was thinking like, oh man, I want to make a post that just says, hey guys, from now on, just start calling it Robert's Burgers. Or, hey guys, I'm going to pitch this TV show and see if I can get it going. It's called Robert's Burgers. And see what happens, because I mean, Johnny Test. Have you ever watched Johnny Test? Have you ever watched Johnny Quest? It's like it like it barely changed a letter. So I didn't technically work on that show. I worked one desk over from that show. I helped out with a few effects and rendering issues like one night, but mostly I was trying to get my show done, and that show was busy stealing all of my animators because scheduling is a lie. Anyway, I'm not sure if Tara was joking or not, but she said that they were rebooting it, I think, or redoing it already. Like, oh yeah, of course, of course, of course. Hey guys, hey production guy, I want to reboot that show. Like what? That popular show that was cool for a minute. Johnny Quest. Did you say Johnny Quest? What a great idea. We should definitely go back and do some Johnny Quest stuff. I mean, yeah, it worked great in like Venture Brothers and stuff like. Let's Johnny Quest it up. No. I said Johnny Test. You want to do a reboot of the like copy? Yeah, I do. Cool. That's how television's made. And I mean, I can complain about stealing ideas all I want. My life is basically Garfield. It is basically Garfield. I am John Arbuckle. I believe he was a cartoonist for at least some point in his life. Hi, Grandpa Edward. You say hello, I say hello. Hey, Big Loot. Big Loot, Big Loot. Tell your Grandpa Edward I said hello. Hello. But that's me railing about TV and forgetting to switch back to the drawing camera so we can see what I'm doing over here. Once again, should have made some notes, and I did not. Now I've forgotten all of the things that I was going to talk about. Based on this, oh my god, out of all of the beautiful arts I could do, this ain't nothing. I've seen a 90 Day Fiance at some point. Maybe it was, if it's always been 90 Day. But man, oh man, we've definitely, if you go back to some older podcasts, there might be one that's like called that. But a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Tara would and still does watch everything. And she would usually, I would just basically be like, I'm not watching that. I don't want to watch that. Tell me about it on the podcast. And then I'd just be like, what are you even explaining to me? She's like, you have to see it. It's just too crazy. So I definitely watched one of the 90 Day Fiancés a long time ago. And, it's too, for me anyway, I'm the kind of person, I'm the kind of guy who's kind of has to talk to the television, especially if somebody else is there anyway. Or whatever, like if it pulls a reaction out of me, then I gotta react. But that one especially, like I've already seen a few memes. I think that Ryan Atkinson posted one on his his Instagram there, that was from the current 90 Day Fiancé, and before it even said, I was like, oh, I know exactly what this is. But I think the text said, like, every couple on 90 Day Fiancé. And it is always just like an abhorrently disgusting, creepy creep, and then some woman who is either a creepy creep herself, who's acting like this is some kind of game show, and I'm gonna make this guy pay, kind of a thing. Like what? Or the other thing, which is just like, hey, I'm new to this country, or I'm trying to get out of my own war-torn country. Somebody please save me, without hopefully me having to marry some super creepy dude that is going to make me feel bad for a while after making me feel bad for a few minutes. And I can't remember. I know that, again, like I said, there's a few different variations. One was some guy literally like, I'm going to go to her country, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do all this stuff. And it was just like, this is insane. Like, everything about it was insane. Because again, like, he was just one of these creeps that are just like, you are clearly treating this like you are buying a woman, not like, you met somebody. This is, no, not cool. And then the other one, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like, love it or list it. But the rules were, hey, you're just going to marry this person that we just pick at random. So the two of you are just suddenly married, and you're in this apartment we set up for you guys, I think. And you got to stay together for, I want to say, 4 months, but that seems terribly too long to me. But like somewhere between 6 weeks and 4 months. And every one of those was just me yelling at the TV of just like, are you kidding me? What do you do? What are you saying right now? Why are you acting like you have to do this? And it more so plays out, like now that I've, done a bunch of improv, taught some weird improv classes and things like that, and just gotten to understand that, oh, reality TV is just somebody trying their best to direct some idiots into improvising something wildly, disturbingly entertaining. So you can always see, when it's just like they don't even have any reason to be talking right now, but suddenly they're just fighting about something, and or even worse, gaslighting one of the other, each other into just being like, how are you going to be like this? Like, it's like, this isn't for a prize. This is, taking a weird shit, like you're Dharma and Greg in your life. And again, I'm the only one. I'm the only person that I know that continually goes back to the Kevin Sorbo well. If you actually watched Dharma and Greg, it was awful. It was a awful, awful, awful show. There was one thing about it that was hilarious, and I don't remember what that was. I feel like it was just the mom. I think Greg's mom was hilarious, but I can't remember if I'm making that up. I remember something about that being enjoyable. I don't even know. But the whole premise was like, what if I just act like this spontaneous person and I marry this spontaneous person? And the spontaneous person's like, what if I spontaneously like settle down with this serious person and see what happens? Maybe we'll even each other out. And in the real world, the police will be there every night until one of them was dead. How do I know that? Because I live in a building full of Dharma and Gregs. But anyway, eventually, they get used to each other. They get comfortable with each other. Like, hey, you're Dharma, I'm Greg. Like, we're kind of on the same page. We know what each other's capable of, and we figured out our weird Flintstonian ways of, hey, here's my scheme to do what I want to do that I still think is cromulent and good because I'm like the level-headed business guy, but I'm still effing over this lady who's doing the exact same thing, just in a more absurd way to have her fun in the end. Hey, we both learned that we have to blah, 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 but we never do because it's a sitcom. And after they've reached a comfortable level of romance, whatever, relationship. Dharma starts taking some classes to better herself because, her husband makes her feel stupid all the time. That's what it's really about. But anyway, I'm sure they come up with something adorable to make it read better for TV. And her teacher is Kevin Sorbo. Who's Kevin Sorbo? Hey, all you little kids. A long time ago, there was this guy called Young Hercules, and he was played by... Ryan Gosling. There you go. Completely different name stuck in my head, and I couldn't swap it over. So Ryan Gosling was this young Hercules. Before there was a young Hercules, there was this action-pack TV series from an action-pack series of a bunch of shows, including Xena and Hercules, and Kevin Sorbo was the titular Hercules. And then he was in a movie called Crow. Then he was in an episode of Dharma and Greg, and that was it. We stopped hearing from Kevin Sorbo forever. And if they were gonna reboot anything, they should definitely do that. Oh, he is? Oh, that sucks. I always see him as a nice guy. But anyway, Kevin Sorbo was putting like actual effort and care into Dharma. Not even in a datey type way, just like, hey, you need some help? Yeah, I'll be nice to you. Like, wow, you're being nice to me. It's like you think I'm a real person and not some kind of science experiment that you can belittle every day, like my Greg. And so is Dean Cain. I mean, I think Dean Cain always was, but used to make hilarious pictures of that Dean Cain would send to my friend Scott, as if like, hey, Scott, like, remember when we used to hang out anyway? I still have your hat. You left it at my house. Like, call me back, Dean Cain. But he would give all of his messages as photos and leave them on Scott's desk. The best part of my day. Hey, what'd you do? Made children's cartoons? Oh, how was that? Best part of my day was leaving messages for Scott. And then, yeah, so I started following Dean Cain, Superman, if you will, on Twitter. And then after a while, I'm just like, oh, you're not joking, Dean Cain, are you? You're a bit of a nut, aren't you? Ooh, Dean Cain. Oh, you're not as whimsical and fun as I thought you would be. But you definitely think you're being whimsical and fun here, but you're a little bit country when I'm looking for someone a little more rock and roll. Is that what I mean? Anyway, I feel like he was taking Trump's side for a minute. Wasn't good. But anyway, why in the sweet hell did I start relating something to Dharma and Greg? I am definitely 7 Kevin Bacons away from whatever I started talking about. But anyway, eventually in the end, Dharma's like, hey, somebody who treats me like a real person, I'm going to go off with Kevin Sorbo. And then Dharma and Greg broke up. And for me, that's where the series ended, because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how this should have went. Hey, Rachel and Ross, stop this. You are stalkers? You are manipulators. You're doing bad things to each other. This isn't adorable? I mean, it's hilarious for us on the outside. But, if we have empathy, it's terrible. Oh, no. The thing about with great age comes great wisdom, but with that wisdom doth, you can cut yourself down with all of the other things that you've added with your wisdom. Like, that's why people as a species are just way too complicated for their own means, because we are aware of that. Like, I've learned so much, I've become this thing, and I, for one, every year I get a little older, and I recognize a bunch of things that I'm like, Oh, I learned the opposite of that now. Oh, geez, I just spent so many years learning that to be the thing that I thought, but I definitely should have been thinking the opposite way. Um, and plus, Schadenfreude is like it's real deep in us. So judging others and even just judging things is a way to. I mean, it's a double. Every swords has a double edge. Every rose has a thorn. Every cowboy has a sad, sad song. But he's got a good song. And the rose has the rose part, and the knife has the side where you're trying to cut the other thing instead of yourself. But it's just a matter of taking that time, and that's my aged wisedness that I've grown or try to cultivate as best I can is just that, is recognizing or not getting stuck in, especially the I'm this old, I've done this for this many years, therefore I'm the most correct at it. Like, I know full well that I'm not. Like, every single day I'm just like, oh geez, I'm old and I don't know what's going on and I need to learn more. What is everyone doing and talking about? Oh my god. I still only think of Bret Michaels as a wrestler. And can still never remember who this Bret Michaels is. Like the Motley Crue? No, it's not Motley Crue. I'm definitely picturing Axl Rose in my head. I believe they're both bandana weirdos. Poison. I know what you're talking about. Poison. This girl is poison. That Poison, right? Bret Michaels. Anyway, okay, they are the same person? Bret Michaels the wrestler is Bret Michaels the singer? No. You gotta be joking. No. Don't make me look this up. I've got too many devices. I got too many devices and not enough questions. Getting my food from that guy Heston. Okay, that's the guy I'm picturing. Alright, I'm going to type in Bret Michaels wrestler now. And if the same picture shows up... Oh, okay, yes. Now I remember. Heart Foundation, Bret Michaels. Not even close. Also, I believe he's dead. So... I watched the whole documentary about Bret Michaels. It was amazing. I think it was just called the Heart Foundation or something. Their story is amazing. Especially for a world of fake wrestling, the amount of heart and foundation they put into their Heart Foundation. Holy snaps. Damn it, I watched something interesting. I watched too many random, just like, hey, here's a weird history of a Nintendo game. Why am I watching this again? Or another one of these. I don't really care that much, but then I just get sucked in. And I'm like, well, now I want to know, why did this controller come to be? And where did it go? There's going to be an Ernie Combs documentary? Now that you say it, I'm just like, I can't believe there hasn't been one. Other than, I still didn't watch the Mr. Rogers one, which I should, but again, just same reason. Well, both of them. It's just like I'd love to watch the Tom Hanks version. I'd like to watch a Colin Hanks version and the documentary, but I'm just like, I know this is gonna just destroy me. Like this is just gonna destroy me, like ice cream. So. Yeah, I've heard nothing but raving reviews so far. Oh, for fun's sake. How did I do that? Oh, there we go. Am I losing my mind? Okay, I am. One more layer down. What I did finally take the time to go and get caught up on is a show that is amazing. It's the best. It's so good. It's so good. But just like Weeds was so good, all the characters are great, everyone's believable, you get sucked in, but you also have to deal with the fact that it's like, Nancy! You've got a good business going, like, stop getting involved with different kinds of mafias, you don't need to build a tunnel to Mexico. Oh my god, Nancy, you are killing me, I can't handle this show. Oh god, there's another episode? Well, I need to know what happens, but I can't watch another 2 hours in a row, so I'm gonna have to do that, and then I'll just have anxiety for 4 days. At least one of them, I think they're both, no, one of them's theater, the movie. I don't know if that's on Netflix yet or not, but the documentary was Netflix, or on Netflix. Should still be. One's called Won't You Be My Neighbor, I believe. But this show, Silicon Valley, I love it, but like at a certain point, I'm just like, this is what my job is. I'm literally working with a guy who is hanging out in Silicon Valley trying to make this stuff work. So he refused to watch the show because he's like, I can't. It's too real. And he's like, that's what it's really like. And I'm like, oh, cool. That's terrifying. So eventually it was just like, I'm going to have to take a break from this show for a while because it's too crazy. It's just too crazy the way things come into existence. And, you know, the weird legal stuff, the backstabbing, the patents, and just the plain, like, hey, what's your idea? Cool, I'm doing that now too then. Like, what? That's what we do here. So I finally went back, and then I'm just like, I don't remember where I left off, so I'm going to go a season or 2 back. And, oh, man, like, again, Thomas Middleditch, Ben Schwartz, watch their special of them combined on Middleditch and Schwartz on your Netflix. And individually, oh, so good. He's so, like, so believable. Like, by the end of every episode as well, I'm just like, I hate Thomas Middleditch. And like, oh my god, I'm pulling for you, but you were still, just ruining this for yourself, just like Nancy. And then, you know, having to remember, like, oh yeah, this guy's just playing pretend. Like, he's just having a great time playing pretend and being this maniac character. Oh, I didn't watch that one. Oddly enough. I put it on and started to, but I just wasn't in the mood for watching people Skype. I'm such a entertainment snob. Also, I just skipped into it for a minute. Then I'm just like, oh, I don't know what Quiplash is, and I'm just like, I don't understand what they're doing right now. But I watched the other ones with. There's one with Middleditch and Kumail Nanjiani playing wrestling. and then two Ben Schwartz episodes that I've actually definitely watched at least one of them twice. The wrestling one's pretty old. So I watched those. But now I remember, I vaguely remember why I segued over to Derm and Greg for a half hour. I don't remember why. 90 Day Fiance. That's what we were talking about. So yeah, all of those things. The reality show type things, especially the relationship ones, are just extra nerve wracking because it is like this is an immediate abusive relationship, no matter how nice these people are, because somebody is prodding them with prompts, just like a long form improv, like Middle Edition Swartz, where it's like you only need this much information. Now run with it. You're like this, react like that, and again, like after listening to so many podcasts and watching so many shows with people like that who have worked on all these shows as production assistants at whatever, and I cannot remember for the life of me who or what it was, but it was somebody in comedy or whatever who actually like thought some reality show was amazing. Like it's just I can't even believe like this stuff happens. It's so amazing. And then he got a job on it, and he was just, spent the rest of his days telling people just how much of a lie it is, because he's like, there's multiple takes. Like, what do you mean? Like, my first job was like, yeah, sort through these multiple, the multiple takes for each thing, label them, and then, the director guy will go through and he'll pick his favorites. Like, but it's reality TV. How is there multiple takes? Like, because it's still TV. We still write what we want to happen, and then hopefully they do something interesting, or they don't, and the show doesn't go anywhere. Like Housewives is I think it was one of the Housewives show, and he was like, yeah, I got a job on there, and it's just like, I can't believe how not real. It's like, and I thought at least there was that thing where it's like, well, we'll organize, we'll set you up on a dinner thing. You're all gonna meet up and do this, but literally like, all right, now try. You're upset with her saying that. Like, okay, and they just do it though. That's the thing. Nobody says like, well, no, that's not what's happening right now. Like, this is real. They're like, okay, because most people, and again, like I definitely am guilty of it all the time, and a lot of people are just taking the prompts that are around them and improvising within that situation. And for me, I justify it by thinking and saying, acting as though this is okay because this is just an improvised interaction between me and some new person. Like, what I miss most about going out into the world is my randos, like just the random conversations that only last a little bit. My Fight Club single serving, like, yep, you can be as crazy or as genius as you want to be. Odds are I'm not going to talk to you again, and if I do, it will probably just be in passing, because that's the kind of person I am. And no matter how scary that person might be, no matter how great they might seem, it doesn't matter. Like, I still immediately go into again, I'm a robot or whatever, but it's like I go into my, like, this is how you associate with people mode. And doesn't matter, especially the crazier they are, the more interested I have to be, just because, like, oh my god, if I show that I'm not impressed with this, I might get murdered right now. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's like, until you know what page you're on with somebody, you have to just pretend you're on some page, or in my case, like, the amount of times I find myself just saying things the way I would say them, and depending on how the hell do I draw my hair? Yeah, I guess that's it. Who the people are, like everyone's like there have been things that I've done where I'm just like, this seems like the most normal thing that I always do, and somebody just being like, stop doing that. Like, are you crazy? And just like, I guess so. That didn't seem that crazy. Didn't seem that crazy. And other times where, it is just read the room, and I'm like, and it is like, okay, cool, like I'll sit here and I'll be this level of quiet, nobody here is looking for stories or questions, so I'll just sit here and be an observer in this situation. But yeah, but there's always a thing like that. You can never really, you can't prepare for improv, and that's what we're always doing. Like the example that's in my head right now of you're being really weird right now, don't do that, is it's what's annoying with the world in two parts. In one part, right, like right now in the world, there's people that are like, hey, we're going to get all of our instruments out, we're going to get on all of our balconies, we're going to play music together, and it's going to be beautiful. Like, okay, to a bunch of people that's beautiful, and to a bunch of other people it is, I'm already in I'm already in lockdown, I don't like your music, this is terrible. And it's like, all right, cool. And then that same thing where people are going out at 7 o'clock and banging pots and pans to show their support. And it's like, okay, I'm kind of on the side that it's just like, if I was one of these support people and I lived in your building and I came home at 7 and I needed to get rest because I needed to go back to a shift, but everybody's out banging pots and pans, like, there's always a reason that's like, that's the crazy thing. But it's like, no, that's what everybody's doing. It's normal. It's a celebration. It's like, yep, I can agree on both parts. But I usually side with quiet. That's just me. I like it quiet. Oh my god, I forgot. It just totally started with the great news. And I've been talking for... No. An hour and 22 minutes? What time is it? Holy jeez. And I completely forgot about the great news. But yeah, the thing in my head that I'm remembering for the dumb thing one day, I mean, I have 1,000 of them flowing through. Most of them are my mom looking at me going, what are you doing? Are you dancing again? Like, yeah, I guess so. Just sitting here waiting for stuff. Why not dance it out? And it's not even just a little jig. I'm not like TikTok people. I don't do that. Oh, sorry. It was a big paragraph. I had to read it. Cause yeah, like CTK, she just moved, and that's amazing in and of itself. Like during a pandemic, when again nobody should be doing anything, and it's like how can you get help? Uh, who is there to do things? And fortunately, like we do live in a city where it's like, yeah, if you need a shopping cart, stores are totally cool with you taking a shopping cart to move all your stuff down the street or whatever. I didn't realize that back when I went to school here, and I moved everything on foot, and I just literally went armload for armload up and down the street. It was literally like a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk, but still. I didn't own a bunch of stuff back then. But anyway, my weird thing was I don't know much French, but there's a good handful of French words up there, and when I get in a situation where there is French, I like to try a little bit. And I realize that when people are trying to do a thing that you're good at, it's wicked annoying, right? Like when somebody's like, hey, let me just draw that thing. Like, see, I'm doing it too. Like, yeah, Yeah, that's just like what I do. Oh, God. But I usually just go, yep, you're drawing pictures, and instead of like being, hey, no, 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 no. But yeah, I went to a place to eat with somebody who was fully bilingual in a French place where mostly everything was just in French. And I'm like, this is different for me. But I'm fine with it. I don't feel like, oh, why can't it be? And it's just like, yep, I'll do what I can. So all the stuff is on the board. There's a big list of stuff. So I'm gonna say not being that loud, and 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 you know, I know that I'm already a little bit loud, but still, it's like this is a restaurant. Everybody's already talking, doing their thing. Whatever I'm saying right now is nobody's business, and I'm actually just reading the menu. There's 1,000 old men somewhere loudly reading the menu and saying Chipotle. All right, I already definitely did a live stream about watching a dude at A&W just going like, "Oh, what's up with that Chipotle? I think I really like that Chipotle. Oh, I'm gonna get some Chipotle on there." You've said Chipotle so many times that it means that you like Chipotle enough to learn how to say Chipotle. You're being racist while you like something and infuriating me. Um, so, yeah, Pat's definitely a fake skateboarder, or was one at some point in time. You can tell just by looking at how he writes. But yeah, so I'm just like going through it and just being like, all right, like that word's chicken, that word's fries, but trying to also pronounce it as best I can, and was just told like stop that, like what, like really, like yep, like I am just having fun, but I'm also just reading a menu, like that's fine, like that's actually just fine. I'm not even being a jerk here. But it is like, yeah, but what if somebody thinks you're being a jerk right now? Like, well, then, just like every other day in my life, I will have to stop and go, oh, sorry. I bet you think I'm being a jerk right now. Actually, here's what I'm doing and what I'm talking about and what I'm saying so you can get some context. If I was being a jerk, I usually try to make that super clear. Oh, the Chipotle thing? Nuclear? Nuclear. It's called nuclear because it's like a nuclear cleaner burning energy. Yeah, yeah, the nuclear. Give me some of them nuclear things. And with the hashtag emojification of words, who even knows how to spell or say anything anymore anyway? It's all made up, and those points do not matter. Okay, make sure I don't accidentally recolor my donuts. Eh. There we go. Folding up my Milo page. Exacerbating my Milo rage. Because he's a jerk cat who doesn't care. He'll take a pee in your shoe. He'll poop everywhere. Litter boxes mean nothing to him. And he'll cough up some hair. 'Cause he's just imaginary. but he still smells like turds. 'Cause cats are cats, and dogs are dogs, but they're just for the birds. Now, what am I trying to... There we go. Back to full camera for a second. The good news. The great news, the amazing news. Friday morning. Alarm gives out a warning. I don't think I'm going to make it on time. But something about the bus fly by. It's all right. I'm saved by the bell. Wake up Friday morning to noise, but it wasn't the same normal noise that I normally wake up to in a morning. And it was just like swearing, a bunch of just like swearing. And I'm like, what's going on? Backtrack for 2 seconds. Remember last week talked about the people upstairs going, F you, F you, F you, F you, F you, F you, F you. Just back and forth at each other in their apartment. I totally forgot. Did fall asleep for a bit. And then I woke up to what I can only assume is they have, you know, a big old subwoofer, some sort of bass. And it was, something was cranked. But it was like kind of white and noisy. Like there was nothing was playing. But my entire apartment, like the whole building was just vibrating. And all of a sudden I just woke up to just, and I'm like, I can feel it. I can feel it everywhere. And like everything, I can hear everything shaking. But it almost sounds like my bathroom fan is just going at 1,000 miles an hour. And I get up and I'm still half asleep at this point. And I go to the bathroom and I look at the bathroom fan. And I'm just like, is it on? Is something happening? Like, is power just surging through this building? And I can't quite figure it out. It's like, but that would make everything vibrate. But I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening. So I'm just like, you know, at a certain point, I'm like, well, I guess I'll just, you know, turn it off and on again, IT crowd style. So I turn it off and on. And when I turn it on, my fan comes on. And I'm like, okay. Turn it back off again, and it still just ran. I'm like, so whatever's happening right now, it's vibrating everything so much that my bathroom fan is like working. And then it stops. So it's like it was only happened for a minute. So it's like I'm gonna guess it's partial accident, partly like, hey, when you're in the middle of a fight, like I'll show you. I'll just crank the volume on this thing because we're fighting. Like, oh, whatever. And then suddenly, yeah, so, like, I kind of snapped out of it as it stopped. And I'm just like, am I in my bathroom trying to make my bathroom fan not be the noise that's vibrating the entire apartment? I am. That's not what's happening. It's crazy people upstairs. Going back to bed. And then I did. So that was that thing. So I've already, you know, that's from last weekend, whenever it was. I've already got, you know, let's say this amount of hate for people in this building. And for the last little while, the dogs next door have been going bananas. 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 And I'm just like, it's locked down. It's locked down. Why are you both gone? Why is somebody not home with these dogs? Why am I enduring a full solid hour of dogs barking? Why? The one good part about lockdown is you got to be locked down with those dogs so they have no reason to be barking at the building, not me at all. But there they are, just barking at every noise that comes in and out of the building, every dog that walks down the street, every anything while I'm in here with my headphones on going BANANAS. This shit is bananas. Gwen. And and then, yeah, Sunday morning, Friday morning, I'm just like, that's not the normal sounds of swearing coming from across the hallway where they're telling each other they're stupid. This is something else. So I get up, peek out my little peek hole, and people are like desperately trying to drag the garbage that was left in that apartment. And they're just like, get this, like anybody that's doing any kind of like construction-y, whatever work, just screaming the loudest, most visceral, on TV friendly swears into the air. So at first, they're doing that, and then they were doing some work on an apartment upstairs, and then they were cleaning the apartment out there. And I'm just like, what is even going on? Like, is this people helping them move? They're not moving into another apartment in this building, are they? Like, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on May 1st. CTK just moved. Or is moving? They didn't. They just moved? Like, did they take off in the middle of the night? I have no idea if they were just gone. Just gone. And I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put on some music and I guess dance through the apartment for a few hours. Probably just gonna dance through the apartment for a few hours. And I think they just moved out. I heard the landlord say to somebody else, blah blah blah, they're kicked out and they're not allowed back in here. Now, I think he might just say that to make himself sound more powerful and to scare those other people who he should also be threatening to kick out, which I think is why he was talking to them at first, and they somehow turned it around to be complaining about other people, and he's like, well, they've been kicked out and they're not allowed in here anymore. Like, ooh, hopefully he's threatening them as well. And yeah, so they're just gone, and so they hauled out all their stuff. They're still cleaning everything out. They pulled stuff out of another apartment, and then I went down to my mailbox, and they were hauling stuff out of another apartment downstairs. So as I mentioned before, where it was like, there's some kind of, I think, some squirrely little drug dealer guy who keeps like congregating and meeting with so many random people throughout this whole thing. And I'm like, I don't like this at all. And then his apartment was empty too. They were cleaning that out. So I'm just like, it's quiet. It's just nice and quiet. You know, other than the rampant swearing from the people doing work on the apartments. Of course, whilst that was going on, I'm in here trying to work, and, you know, when I did have my headphones off, I'm going to go make something to eat or whatever, just hearing, yeah, you better, like, so for fun, just for a little bit of fun, maybe a little bit crazy, whatever they would say, I would yell the same thing. I haven't had a chance to yell stuff. Everybody else in this building just yells stuff all the time. Other than right now, when I'm being too loud, which is still not that loud, I don't think. Lady downstairs hasn't banged on my floor with a broom handle. So yeah, just for fun. Just for fun. I would just yell another thing, but not at them. I'm just like, just as into the air as I can, where I'm just like, even more so sometimes in a jovial way. I'm just like, and I'm just like, shit, piss, douche, sign style. Oh, M. Night Shyamalan. So there's that, and then also, yeah, so when I went to go get the mail, I did cross paths with one of the guy doing the main swearing, and he specifically said to me, oh, hey, by the way, like, don't mind all the yelling and swearing. And I and I said, oh, I will actually. And I went back into my apartment because, I don't know, everyone's going crazy. I'm not running around with a gun. I'm just going to, like, I will mind it. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to lie to you right now. I'm not, within this improv, within the yes end right now, I'm yes ending. Don't mind it. Yes, and I will. It's what I'm programmed to do now. It's what I'm programmed to do now. Whether it's with myself or an imaginary jerk cat. And yeah, so now that most people are gone, that are like, all right, all the people that I've talked to are not here anymore. Sorry, new girl moving in across the hall. I can't believe you're moving in so fast. Hopefully they'll clean it 6 more times, because when I did go to get my mail, oh, snaps, guys. it still smells like dog and cat piss and shit, just wafting right into my retinas. Like, urgh. I can't scratch this off my eyes. Can't scratch this smell off my eyes. So good luck with that, lady. Good luck with that. Somebody did come by. She seemed nice and quiet. Everything should be cool. I'll not talk to you. We're not going to be friends. Sorry. Sorry. I've learned my lesson. Oh, there's a lot of neighbors that they find a reason. Life finds a way to interject with yours. But it is 10 o'clock. Like I said, there is going to be another page to this page where I put the squares back up. And technically I have a whole Ripley thing, but I'm probably not going to put those in there that are really going to make one section not make a whole lot of sense, because it's just like, hey, I'm here to be Ripley's new assistant. Like, what does Ripley do here? So one of the pages at the beginning will have to be, these are the characters. So anyway, Saturday I wake up, and normally Saturday is definitely the day of dogs waking up early, freaking out, ready to go do anything, and then somebody else yelling, shut up, and then somebody else yelling, no, you shut up, and like, good relationship. Great relationship. Keep that one up for sure. But yeah, just like really definitely absolutely considered like I might stay in bed all day Saturday. I think I might stay in bed all day Saturday. It's still quiet. Even the dog upstairs isn't doing anything. Maybe he got kicked out. Maybe they kicked out all the animals. Did they kick out all the dogs? Maybe they kicked out all the dogs. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows every day. Wonderful is what I feel when there's no dog barks. And the dog there's still a dog upstairs. He did bark, but that dog is kind of great because it usually just goes woof, and somebody says don't, and it's like, yeah, cool. Other than it running back and forth, but I don't know. It seems to have quieted down because these dogs aren't freaking out. That dog has nothing to respond to, so it's just like it's back to being a normal apartment building again. As far as I know, nobody's got grenades. As far as I know, and yeah, so it's just like this is great. Like literally Friday, I was like, I'm getting drunk, and I'm going to just go fight somebody in the street just for fun. And I mean, the fight stuff was just, just to be silly and funny. But it's like, yeah. I got some ice cream drumsticks in the freezer. I've got chips. I've got some cookies. Yeah, let's do that thing where you drink, and you're like, yeah, I got my home back. But then I'm just like, I'm thirsty, and ooh, I kind of just want cookies and drumsticks, so I mostly just ate a bunch of food and didn't really notice until the next day, like, oh yeah, I meant to get drunk. And I didn't. But I still have this horrible hangover. So the other thing that's great about pandemic times is I spent most of the weekend walking around as if I had a cold or the flu. And I mean, and I had to keep reminding myself, like, once I got to the other end of the hallway and just, like, was just lumbering disgustingly, where I'm just like, oh, wait, like, I'm not sick. I just ate a bunch of drumsticks, which I can't handle. So I finally finished those off. That was a mistake to get those. And I'm like, oh, thank God I don't have any anymore, because these are killing me. Like, just killing me. Just heartburn, just draining me of energy. Way too many cookies, like to the point where I'm literally like, I have made myself sick with nothing but junk food. And but yeah, having to keep reminding myself, like, you're not home with the flu, all right? The pandemic is a whole, like the coronavirus is a whole separate thing. Don't convince yourself you have that, but also don't walk around like you're sick. Just stop eating all of the junk food and have an orange like you planned to. Remember when you were like, I'm gonna have an orange? And then you finished that orange, like, yeah. And then you went and ate a bunch of junk food, like, yeah. stop at the orange and or continue with another orange or something else. Oh. But yeah, the thing about not, just going, all right, I'm going to go for a walk now. I'm not doing that because there's a bunch of people all clustered together doing work on apartments. None of them wearing gloves or masks. None of them seem to care that anything's going on. Definitely nobody cares that anything's going on around here. So, like, not going to go for a walk. Can't do that reset. So it is just like, the 13th time I've gone up and down the hallway to look at the kitchen and be like, don't eat food. Don't eat food. Go do anything else, you're going to throw up. And then a few times I'm managed to convince myself, like, remember that thing we talked about on the live stream about the cookie boobs? Yeah, do a plank. Oh, planks are stupid. Planks are so stupid. But whatever, I did a plank for a little while. And then I did a few push-ups, and I'm like, that sucked and I hated it. But, I should definitely do more. Let's watch some TV instead. And welcome to the main stage, Cookie Boobs. She's going to be dancing to the Cookie Crisp theme commercial, played over and over again 4 times to equal a minute and a half. Cookie Crisp, Cookie Boobs. Get out your tips, you stripper noobs. But anyway, I've just been droning on about whatever. I think we covered enough things, right? I think so. What channel are we on here? Should we hear more from me? Should I say some more things? I feel like I haven't said enough things. You always say enough things, and mostly whatever I said, it's still covered in your thing. Just whatever I say, people can just assume you'll say the insane version of that. That's very hurtful. That's so hurtful and or offensive. Anyway, do I have cookie boobs? Yeah, you definitely have cookie boobs. I'm pretty sure most cats have cookie boobs. They're just made up of not cookies. And, I've eaten so many cookies. So many cookies. I genuinely can't even believe that you're like, oh yeah, two packages of the cookies at a time. That's definitely what I need when I never buy cookies. Yeah, we discussed that. But anyway, that's another part of today's comic. This book, I'm going to do my best to do the due diligence and the work required to, instead of just shipping it to myself and then reshipping it out where they're all signed and whatever, I'm going to try and set it up so you can just order it from Amazon, and or maybe even do, like, here you can get the I don't know how it works, but like the digital PDF book copy. And whatever, try to make it easy for people to get and easier for me to not have to ship them all out, because this one's going to be a big deal, right? This one's going to be a big deal. So many copies. Over 10,000 hamburger copies sold, right? I don't know. But as per usual, this is me, that's him. Go to that place and subscribe to all the things. If you're on YouTube, ring the bell. If you're on Twitch, follow. And Instagram. I absolutely count my worth in the world by Instagram followers. And almost at 600 now. Feel like it should be in the thousands, but almost at 600. It's, kind of amazing when you see, like, hey, you just posted that? Yeah, I just posted that 4 seconds ago. You already have 3,000 comments? Yeah. In a few seconds, that's all it takes to get thousands of comments and likes and shares. Like, oh, cool. 6 is cool though, right? Like six likes and or views? That's cool? Is that a cool thing? No, that's not cool. Oh my god. We have a whole comic about this that you have to finish. I know. All right. Anyway, but I've been shoving my follower needs up people's butts, saying follow this, and you're just you're being a normal person and not being a jerk about it. But yeah, this has been a Tuesday, stop by next Tuesday and we'll do the same thing with some other pages and we'll talk about more nonsense in the world. And I don't know. Maybe I'll catch a murder hornet and bring it in. And, I can make one. I already have one made, technically. I just need to modify it to be more murdery and bigger. Maybe we'll talk to a murder hornet next week. No, I believe we'll be talking to me always and forever and ever. Forever and ever. As long as old ladies sit and talk about the weather. And old ladies sit and talk about old men. And old men talk about the weather. Anyway, you're gonna talk to me forever and ever. Randy Travis, etc. That's a weird reference. Anyway, Ripley. Oh my God. Ripley. Meow. 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 I know. I didn't bring you up at all. I didn't say anything to you. Batman was here before you, and that's not cool at all. Anyway, Ripley runs everything. Hey, sweetest angel, do me a quick favor. Throw up the end credits, and we'll do this again next week. Thanks, guys, for all your eyes watching while you eat supplies. Live streaming, drawing stuff, making up stories, and theme songs for Pat's Glory. Something else, and now there's everything, and then there's nothing, and dingity ding. I'm out of words. Promotional consideration is by My Homemade Juice. And friends of No Such Thing as Growing Up stay at the Hilton. The Hilton. I don't know if we have one around here, but stay at it. Can't find the stop